For all the truth seekers, this one is F or U. Welcome back to our channel, Play Dramatic Music, where we reveal the facts about Prince Harry and Meghan Markle. But whatever the reason, another round of truth bombs for all the royal fans reading this, and probably most royals themselves. That should be enough to have your tea streaming out before you get even close to verse 1. God save our gracious king, I believe. This week, we take a look at the day that changed everything for Queen Elizabeth II. Trust me, it tastes nicer than an overcooked Sunday roast. Now, before we start getting into the stormy waters of that realization, if you are new here, be sure to hit subscribe and turn on notifications. Check out some of the dynamite content we have coming your way. I know you won't want to miss it. So, let's set the scene. Consider this: September 8th is the closest thing you can see in an imaginary world. The world's longest-serving monarch is on her deathbed, and all the heavy thinkers down at Buckingham Palace are running about like headless chickens to get them up Balmoral Castle. Unity, you would think this should be a moment for unity, and we ought to put our personal feuds aside so that as one family unit. Oh, but no, not our beloved royal drama queens Harry and Meghan. At first, it seemed the world assumed that Harry and Meghan were poised together to react as if this unprecedented descent into a royal-type infamy was no more than an act of unity on their behalf. There were no-brainers, times when personal problems would take a back seat for the collective good. Yet a statement can land like trickling soft-focus blood as much as a gracious Meghan exit, carrying revelations of her husband going it alone. Why, you ask? Bringing Meghan, of course, the royals considered tacky. Let's break this down a bit. Well, there has been much speculation and talk as to the whereabouts of Meghan. They curse the protocol, some are whispering in their ears over unsaid hatred and unfinished war. Apparently Harry was to go by himself, for whatever reason. That raises a whole whack of questions. However, in making this decision, did some part of them feel the need to stand up for a look around and about? Or was it impervious to save the peace in an already emotional and dramatic day? This environment was one of the most complex and vicious jungles on Earth, and despite her unique background, Meghan appeared to be breaking new ground in this weirdly intimate tapestry. Day long, various media outlets around took to reporting and speculating. For a hot minute, the Queen herself seemed like less of an issue than if there was no Meghan with Harry. The information-starved public on the perennial lookout for stories to devour about an institution historic and privileged as the Crown itself became a riotous feast of rumors. No bear cats in sight. Harry taking the trip to Balmoral alone informs much about his future royal role, and how he will continue straddling the line between Prince Harry, husband of Meghan Markle, former HRH who has lifestyle brands rather than working monarchy income. And it also put an exclamation point behind how long they've been separated and set up the catch-22 for this couple trying to find their way in a digital age without as clear-cut roles. Ouch. Which is worse than a wasp at your picnic. But this time we are going to split it into parts. The rest of the royal family are cramming onto an RAF flight like it's the last chopper out of Saigon, while Harry refuses permission for him and Meghan to be released. It would be the equivalent to when a toddler throws a toys shop at the grocery because mommy is not going to get them candy. Except in this case it's a 38-year-old man and the candy is his wife. But that is when it really starts to get fun. Formerly King Charles at an act, then which must have his reign revised. Which Harry truthfully replies, but mate, too bad. Seriously people, I paid good money to see Harry's face at that moment. Probably turned redder than his hair. Okay, so when William and Andrew pack up the Mountbatten flying circus for a trip to Balmoral like the royal Avengers assemble, Harry is on another continent with part of his dummy still stuck westwards. Of course, he hops onto a private jet. Walking the walk their eco-warrior Prince But wait, it gets better. Harry, who whinged, complained, about his family and even tried getting Mez on Scotland in an RAF plane as he collected here after a mere 24 hours, is doing this. Talk about dropping the ball. He's tardy to the party, Already Her Majesty's popped over bucket by the time he lands in Aberdeen. Talk about bad timing. Now let me frame this a bit. This was no big family fight, this one had to do with British global royal connections. And this lot, who are descended from a lineage which has long since espoused the non-warfect moniker, would happily claim Anglo-Irish stoicism no matter how many wars and divorces, etc., actually occur within said mucky bloodline. That Harry is still trying to bend rules for Meghan at this point shows everything we need to know about what went wrong in their relationship, and where his loyalties lie. Others are likely reeling in the meantime. The Queen is missing, their mastermind has disappeared. This is a time for calm and togetherness, not petty bickering or political strong-arming. Harry insisting that Meghan be present could have been perceived as disrespectful to the institution, the establishment. And oh, the optics. Stepping back from royal duties and talking to the media may only have brought Harry and Meghan more trouble. So, for this newest episode to effectively just add another practical to the fire with an actually Harry storyline was only ever going that cement and mud. This will be no more than a subplot in the sprawling epic that is history, and its relevance to the future of the monarchy almost nil. Yet for now, it remains a reminder that the whitest of white people in their most elite and Aryan palace way are no different to anyone else when you scrape, just 50 layers. And a ravenous public will, as ever, gleefully sit back with popcorn in hand to listen for what the newest tale unfolding from Harry and Meghan has served them. Catalog tag. So there you have it, folks. A royal mishap for the ages. Because make no mistake, Harry is the one on the outside looking in with his mum, over not being able to quit Meghan by lying down like a partially emasculated spaniel. In short, that sounds like a story whose elements will be dissected and disagreed upon for literally years to come. More evidence, as if it was needed, of the tectonic shifting plates beneath royal romance. That might unnerve Harry, you would imagine. One might think he would sometimes realize that this was a time to stop adding any more layers on the onion about his family and cry goodbye to dead grandma. But nope. Slim our boy Harry is so incensed that he refuses to even sit down and eat with Charles, William, and Camilla for dinner that evening. Read that again, really let me leave a mark in your reality. Oh, my grandmother has died and now daddy is king, so how do I behave when in mourning? Go for a pub dinner with all the relatives and oh, if anything this just sounds terrible soap opera-ish wax work something. But here's the kicker, folks. In my source mind, he has been invited to dinner with Charles whenever he is in the country. How generous. How magnanimous. How will Harry respond to the overture? With a swat and an angry stride away. It's a low blow and something that infuriated her, says the source. Yeah, no kidding. It is like saying, no tea with the king. Oh, wait. But the truly bananas part of all this is Harry, you know, who runs through fame like a kangaroo with fireworks shooting out its pouch every time he sees another Oprah cover. Shock and all about his family. Harry fled Balmoral as soon after you broke. Gene Kelly left on an EasyJet for London. I mean, what next? Harry, where is the private jet? Are you finally taking the eco so seriously? Did you just learn that a tantrum is never as satisfying when no one, released, witnesses it? It's almost comedic, really. A full-grown man having the equivalent of a child temper tantrum in front of everyone. And this naturally leads to the other question, what about that royal family of ours? Women are grieving their matriarch, stepping up to new roles and attempting the tap dance of public life, all while managing Harry's humiliating escapades. The family dynamics have always been questionable at best. In these types of times you would hope that person radcast their differences and come together smooth in unity. Oddly enough, that is a lot to expect from people. Of course, the question is more than a one-trick pony blinking away in flashing neon signs for underlying dysfunction. The public frenzy over the royal family appears to be a double-edged sword. It goes with the territory, it keeps them alive as characters, it puts their lives under a fucking scope. Harry, the papers would have had a field day with him. But beneath the headlines, this a human story, of a family that is mourning and trying to carry on with life. And what about the future? Do Harry make it right with the royals? Will he ever be able to reconcile his duty with his own desires? Only time will tell. If it doesn't, get ready for the ripple of drama and headlines compliments of public discourse. We think that perhaps, within this intricate labyrinth of the heart and soul, we might stumble upon a path to peace. It is nevertheless a classically tragicomic amalgamation illustrating that no matter how significant status we hold, human emotions are primarily irrational creatures. The wounds can only be healed with time, reflection and perhaps a little humility on their part, but hopefully one day they will all come together as some semblance of family. But in the meantime, we'll be sitting here watching it play out instead, and let's face it, probably shaking our heads while doing so. Some are shouting, but Harry and Meghan did touch down with William and Kate to meet the fans later on. And that has to stand for something. Oh, you fresh-faced youths of the summer, that was as good as Meghan's acting career. It was, of course, the most disingenuous PR move ever, a stunt designed to show they were still part of the royal family even though we want them as welcome in our living rooms as foxes are inside hen houses. Roland, today the horrific scenes from Westminster Hall to be able for Harry, in his military guise to lie in state. The family was sweet enough to allow him a final time of getting back into costume. What a convenient catch-all for whatever pain or suffering resulted from you. Right? Right? And now for the real tea. Royal author Katie Nicholl told me, there is no rapprochement between Harry and his brother William. Shocker. I must find out why years of public backstabbing, tell-all interviews and Netflix docuseries was not enough to bring them together. I'm stunned. Absolutely stunned. What this royal soap opera has confirmed so far more from Prince Harry and Meghan Markle. What a pair of timing cats, Harry and Meghan could not hit the right time with 5-meter barge pole. They even turned a somber family moment into the Harry and Meghan show. But above all, we've been there to see the family finally sick of these two sorry excuses for a pair back hurts. Gone is the firm's usual, staid stoicism in exchange for a harder edge of determination to differentiate between respect and not have chinks deeply dug into its newly crafted but heretofore methodical persona while still spinning out there, no longer as simmering underneath it all anymore either. That veneer of togetherness, and it might be the flimsiest thing in existence, but slivers as Cousin Eddie's shanty brother-in-law swigging his brew over your holiday souffle, come it crumble soon descent forces put here for you rip through, their version of you, encoding black much behind a cover where treachery gnaws befouling your blood empire. Kudzu weeds like what is left ungrown touches up and everything old adds flavor made metal across lurst reactors. The fact that these event receives the utmost attention from media personalities is in itself a reflection on how royal scrutiny seems to be unending. Every movement they make, every time we see them out in public is considered about and picked apart to the point where it would be almost impossible for real reconciliation without media on their back. These embarrassing antics make individuals look bad and also highlight the difficulties this entity will have in maintaining its own existence going forward amid not knowing privacy it can truly afford to keep. This tale of the royals, at its heart with a fresh read from an unexpected source any way you look this, presents food for thought when it comes to what matters between those walls and beneath that weighty history. If only fairy tale could feel just as real. Maybe it is a reminder that the royals are, despite all of this procedure and ceremony draped over their longitude like golden finery, as flawed people as anyone else, with problems and challenges of their own. And as that drama unfolds in the coming months, one thing will be clear to all: the Harry and Meghan story is far from over. That is as much a father saying no about her not bringing down morale / charging into melee, yet the actions of a king decreeing. And you know what? Good for him. But credit to those guys in any event. Harry and Meghan are just reading victimized so hard it has wear lines on the spine by now, we all realize. Come off it, they bawl about privacy yet go crying to every outlet imaginable with all of their dirty laundry. The royal couple has accused the palace of stifling them, while refusing to reconsider their own status, and accompanying titles and privileges, as members of royalty. And someone needed to tell them that their bluffs had been called. Someone just has to stand up and say, "You want out? Fine, you're out." However, you also can't pick and choose which bits to keep with that lifestyle. Because this is, quintessentially, at the crux of it all after a long day. Harry and Meghan want all the perks of being a royal, but none of the oversight or accountability. They like to use the princess card and it suits them, and they scream privacy when in fact not. It is not only impractical but unfair to those who serve uncomplainingly. Recent behavior of the Duke and Duchess of Sussex has highlighted a massive chasm between their words and their deeds. But they claim to be tired of the royal spotlight and announced that in their departure, they would seek a life more private, only for them to take every opportunity out of sight. However, interviews, documentaries and lucrative media partnerships with news companies has kept we in the very spotlight it professes to abhor. Dear Harry and Meghan, in the real world this is how it behaves. In the world of reality, there are no deeds without consequences. You can't talk about how your whole family sucks on live TV all week, then come home like nothing happened after leaving for London. You cannot insist on privacy while shining a spotlight on yourself out of universe so vivid as beside the computer. The old and outdated, tired narrative of victimhood. Despite the relatability of Harry and Meghan's struggles, not everyone has such a platform or resources with which to face their own. They should realize that they are privileged, and with great powers comes responsibilities. King Charles shunning away from bending over is not just about the royals' orchestral dominion, it's the majestic taking command of what they demand and transgressing accountability. It shows up how respect and trust can be won but not commanded. For too long, Harry and Meghan have sought to live half in/half out of the royal family, all cast with none of the labor. Like all families, the royal family is flawed. Even though airing the grievances publicly and repeatedly is not healthy for them, it also obstructs the work of those who are doing their job in a dignified and professional manner. By stepping back and declaring his boundaries in public, King Charles is saying that a monarchy, or any institution for that matter, will be hamstrung if its members cannot regularly behave one way or another but instead partake of collective myths about serving the common good. We may feel for the old king. King Charles's position is one to be emulated. It is also the principled position, for public duty and separation of personal from state. Harry and Meghan need to learn a lesson the hard way: action equals consequence, or privacy when they want it so much then do as such. The world is watching, they must now be the leaders that they like to pretend we are. But then in the real world, when your grandmother is laying there dying, okay, you are going to put aside for that second being resentful and cynical. You never ever question being allowed to come, you do not shout and stomp your feet when we tell you no, nor do you say no because Daddy was going over there without us. But hey, what do I know? All right, I am fibbing, I simply observe this royal drama. But, if this is how Harry and Meghan are going to act in a time of crisis when the family really should be pulling together, maybe just maybe these royals do more harm than good. After all, the monarchy is not actually about individuals' vendettas or egos. It's about duty. About service. This is about a nation first, not you. From where I stand, Harry and Meghan have illustrated time and again that this is precisely what they are not after. Actions will always speak louder than words. A search that proves it. Selflessness is sort of in the job description for monarchy, but these two just don't get it. Being a member of the royal family demands many obligations, yet it appears that Harry and Meghan cannot or do not want to uphold them. Here is my advice to the royals: hold steady. Stop letting these two drama queens dictate the narrative. You've got a kingdom to govern, people who need you, and an entire G family line. The Harry and Meghan soap opera is not your dog to be wagged. The whole world is watching you, and the events of these days will shape long years to come. Now more than ever, unity and resilience is paramount for the royal family, which has long been its greatest asset. To Harry and Meghan, grow up. Move on. Come up with an explanation that is not you retelling your craziness, or a tale of always having been wronged. You wanted freedom? Then embrace it. You should utilize the action for positive, make your mark on what endows to this beautiful nation we all have instead of helping it down. For those who will see it, that is. There are opportunities everywhere, and you should make sure to start doing the work of being a light bringer as opposed to contributing darkness. The royal family, an antiquated and traditional institution. It is more extensive than any one man, and its future depends on the ability of those from within it to put their pride aside and find a way, in common purpose, back to each other. Trading, Harry and Meghan seem to have taken it a step farther from the countless about duty, towards personal glory at public cost. However, as has been pointed out by Prince Harry and Meghan Markle themselves, they have a right to live their life how they want, even if that means recognizing it might not be the way of royal expectations. Finally, royal family, your roots. Stay true and kind in your service. Whatever other noise is happening, we must never take our eye off what this moment actually requires. My message to Harry and Meghan: good luck on finding the best way in life, but freedom also costs obligations. Perhaps one day you will figure out that not a person's complaints Akira, but what they build with their platform. Well, you've got it. And finally, make some great use of it. Anything that is not a continuous busting on your family. Not for anything is you revolutionary. You're not brave. Well, you are not walking your walk. You too are a pair of brats who annoy people's butting in beyond recognition. Well, it is that time in your life when you reflect on how you behave and what its repercussions will be, not just over private family but public image. Real courage is not giving up during tough time when challenged, not airing your confusion, dirty laundry, and understanding that actions cause reactions. Stop bringing unnecessary drama. Perhaps this would be a good way to use that spotlight for change or real-life matters of substance and show the world you are not just another group with some childish bickering. So what do you guys have to say about it? Leave me a comment on what you think. Subscribe to our YouTube channel in the meantime for more vivid storytelling and R-rated confessions. We are the home of all things royal. Be sure to like, share and subscribe so you get all the latest buzz from the royals. Thanks for watching. We will update you on the royal family news soon. We wish to deliver news and awesome tales, but we have our editorial values. Bye for now.